Okay, Nancy, you ready, right?
We are ready.
I'd like to call the 7 PM work session meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Boonstra?
Here.
Mr. Fisher?
Here.
Mr. Melchiong?
Here.
Mr. Shanley?
Here.
And Mayor Madigan.
Here. Nancy, would you read the open public session statement, please?
This regular work session meeting of the Wykoff Township Committee is now in session. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting appears on our annual schedule of meetings. A copy of said annual schedule has been posted on the bulletin board in Memorial Town Hall. A copy has been filed with the municipal clerk. A copy has been posted on our municipal website, and a copy has been emailed to the Record, the Ridgewood News, and the North Jersey Herald News, all newspapers having a general circulation throughout the township of Wykoff. At least 48 hours prior to this meeting, the agenda thereof was similarly posted, filed, and emailed to said newspapers.
Okay, we've signed all vouchers.
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Can I have a motion to open the public session, 10 minutes, public comment, 2 minutes per speaker on any governmental issue the member of the public feels free, maybe concerning the residents of Wykoff. You can either come up to the microphone if you're here, or you can call in 201-891-7000, extension 2220.
So move. Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Madigan.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay. Anybody wish to come up to address the governing body, or wish to phone in?
Seeing and hearing no one, I move to close public comment.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes.
Mr. Fisher?
Yes.
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Madigan.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Thank you. Review the EPM business meeting agenda. Matt Cavallo, our administrator, please.
Sure. So this evening, there are several items on the consent agenda. First is 3 resolutions with regard to our garbage contract. We'll get into more detail into that in a little bit, and I believe Mr. Melchiong has some updates on that as well. 133 authorizes a contract with our graphic designer and our printer who prints the calendar and the newsletters for us. We have our standard vouchers and tax overpayment bills, and we have 2 resolutions authorizing Rob to settle some agreements that he's been working on. We also have 3 ordinances for introduction tonight. You'll notice that Ordinance 1975 and Ordinance 1976 may look familiar. They are ordinances that we have done before. They are having to do with the Historic Preservation Commission and the powers of the Historic Preservation Commission. We adopted them, I believe, right before I came here in 2020, late 2021. But since we now have a approved master plan, historic preservation element to the master plan, these need to just be reintroduced and readopted as a matter of business. Ordinance 1977 authorizes an increase to the sewer charges, minor increase, up $10, I believe, from previous years, and I don't believe that's gone up in a couple of years. And then we have 1 ordinance on final adoption, 1973, which is the salary ordinance having to do with the police. We have 2 ordinances on final adoption. One having the salary ordinance for the police PBA contract, and the second one I'm just going to call the pickleball rules. And finally, just as an aside, I hope to have a resolution on the next meeting. The attorneys are working out final language on the PBA contract. It's not as easy as just throwing the numbers in. As you recall, the previous contract had an MOU attached to it addressing the Pittman schedule, and we need to incorporate all of that language into the correct spots into the agreement, so it's taken a little longer than we expected. We'll hope to have that for the next meeting.
So we're working off of the current MOU to approve the salary
Correct.
ordinance. Okay, all right, just to clear that up. Thank you.
And just a couple updates on items going on around town. A stump removal purchase order has been cut, and we expect that to be done with the next, before the next meeting. I believe we issued about 11 or 12 stumps around town that are being removed currently, and that list is actually growing because DPW has been going out and doing some removals themselves of trees they can actually do, trying to cut down that list a little bit. While we have no snow on the ground, it's a great time for them to be out there working on these items. We are currently out to bid for to construct the pole barn behind the police department. Bids open this Thursday. We'll be going out this Friday for the extractors and dryers of turnout gear for the fire department. This equipment is being purchased through the DCA's firefighter grant that we received last year. We are preparing the bid specs to to complete the walking path at Russell Farm with the grant money we received from County Open Space, and working on the design and the bid specs for the walking path here at the complex, which we have money for also from Open Space. More to come on this at the next meeting. The fire department, myself and Diana have been able to finalize this year's application for the Assistance to Firefighters grant. It was submitted. We applied to upgrade the radios to improve our interoperability between our other agencies, and this application was due 2 Fridays ago and was submitted. The Finance Committee is diligently working to finalize this year's budget, thanks to our department heads and our Finance Committee members for multiple meetings. More information on this to come at our March meeting, but we are expecting an on-time introduction this year, as always. Just a reminder that non-paper and cardboard collection at the recycling center is now commingled, not to be confused with single stream. The glass container has been removed, and now glass, aluminum, tin, and plastic all go in the same container. As an aside to the agreements that we're approving tonight for garbage, that there's new procedures for the pickup of bulky waste curbside. Bulk items are now collected the last Thursday of each month. And the first bulk collection of the year was held in January. We have another one this Thursday, and that list is already closed, so if you need to get on a bulk list, it'll be for next March. That being said, information will hopefully be coming out in the next week or so with regard to a new bulk dumpster that will be available as part of this contract at the recycling facility starting in March. Bulk items, non-building material, may be brought to the recycling center after purchasing a sticker for each item that you will be disposing at a cost of $5 from the clerk's office. Items without a sticker will not be accepted. We expect this service to be available on or around March 1st, and this is addition to the curbside bulk waste where we have the ability to dispose of 2 items curbside for free. If you want to get rid of more, or you want to get rid of it before the normal bulk waste collection, it's a nominal $5 per item, and you can bring it down to the DPW yard. More information on that to come. Additionally, we are setting up a container at the recycling facility where residents will be able to dispose of papers that require confidential shredding throughout the year. More information on this to come in the upcoming week, but we expect this also in March. And this is in addition to the Shred Fest that we do twice a year, which is scheduled for April. For everyone who has a parking pass in 2022, make sure you renew it. 2023 animal licensing continues, and I believe the deadline is March 31st. And our rabies clinic in town is March 18th. If you cannot make the March 18th, we do have a list in the clerk's office of other free clinics around the area. Just give us a call and we can provide you with some of that information. Our annual financial statement was filed online in the FAST system and has been accepted. We are working on our spring newsletter. Detailed information on changes in garbage and recycling collection will be the hot topic of this spring newsletter. And finally, information has been posted online and on our social media and in our e-news concerning those looking to purchase Memorial Day veterans banners, and those banners are now $160, up $10 from last year. That's all I have for my report.
Great.
Question? Matt, the pole barn that we're taking a bid on,
Yes.
does that bid specify the finish on the building?
No.
Okay,
So
that's an open discussion,
it's
yeah.
an open discussion item.
Very good.
It's being bid 2 ways. Actually, I believe we changed it. The bid is for plywood sheathing with just house wrap on it for now.
Okay,
Want to get it up, and we're still working
Fine.
on some.
so this is
the
for
items.
basically to structure this?
Correct.
Got it, okay, thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna switch ahead, come back to Township Committee reports. Rob, do you have any report as the attorney?
Thank you. We've got closed session tonight. I want to talk to you about the ongoing litigation. But other than that, on Monday, February 13th, I attended a meeting with, I'll call it the zoning subcommittee. Rudy and Scott were there. It was also attended by Matt, Brigitte Bogart, our planner, was there. Mark DeGennaro was there, Tom Gensheimer was there, and then from our planning board, we had our chairman, Rob Fortunato, and the attorney, Kevin Hanley, just trying to kind of spot and pull out some of the zoning issues and planning issues that our town is facing. And just to quickly go down the list of some of the things we spotted, and we talked about this for a while, I think, a need to deal with maybe some parking issues we have in town and alleviate, I think, some of the parking constraints. I've already worked on, have a draft of an ordinance amending the parking. We got to deal with solar panels. I know that's been an issue for the building department, and I've already drafted changes to the ordinance with regard to solar panel and going back and forth with Mark on that. Electric charging stations, I know there's an ordinance now circulating on that. Outdoor signage, maybe new technology with regard to signage, climate change, 5G. And then from the planning perspective, we've I guess, taken a look at least two pieces of property where we've had overtures from to possibly be developed that are, I'll call them larger tract, 5 acres, maybe one's 3 acres, one's 5 acres. There's property over in Sprawbrook, then there's also one on Franklin Avenue. And we need to look at it, we need to take it seriously. I took a seminar about a week ago on a case that came down towards the end of last year out of Drew University. It was Drew versus Madison. And even with that judgment of repose we have for the third round, I mean, people can still come in and we have an unmet need either way. So if new property becomes available or it looks like there's a potential development coming in, I think you know the responsible thing to do is to take a look at it and see what potential's there. And it sounds crazy because I feel like we just resolved it, but the third round protection judgment repose is up in 2025, right? So you're gonna blink and it's about 2 years away now, right, or less than 2 years away now. So we're gonna blink in 2025 and the fourth round's gonna be here. So I think we've always done the right thing in this town, and I just think we need to continue to do the right thing and look at potential development. So when we go in for our fourth round, we can demonstrate that in fact we have been doing the right thing. So that's all I have until closed session.
Okay, thank you. Township committee reports. I'm gonna start in the middle. Rudy, you ready?
Whoa, man,
That's a curveball, huh?
caught me off guard here.
Scott, be ready. You're
Oh,
next.
cow. I'm getting my chewing gum here. To get rid of it anyway. Okay, let's start with the planning board. At the last planning board, which was on the 8th, I believe, we approved a 6-foot fence along Franklin Ave opposite Zabriskie Pond. A 6-foot fence exceeds the allowable limit, but the neighbors, and we looked at it, and the neighbors testified that, believe it or not, there is litter from vehicles drive by that gets over that fence and into the pond on that side. So that plus the fact that the fence will be moved back a little bit from the roadway and screened a little bit, the board concluded a 6-foot fence was appropriate. They're also going to put a tennis court on that property. That's the property that actually fronts on Overlook, but backs up the main street exposure is on Franklin. The planning board approved the Ridgewood Water Treatment Building on Hartung Drive and on the far end at the corner of Covington. It will look as a 2-family home, as much as a residential look as is possible with a treatment building, and the planning board looked at it and approved it, and hopefully it'll not be a detriment to the neighborhood, but an enhancement to the neighborhood, which is a great neighborhood. The public hearing we also had 2 completeness hearings. One was for Hackensack Meridian is opening or proposing to open a walk-in clinic in the Stop and Shop building, rather, on the east end of the building facing Godwin Ave. There's an empty space there of about 6,000 square feet, and they're going to occupy that with a medical office, a medical facility, walk-in urgent center. We also approved the sign application on the corner of, or completeness of for a sign application on the corner of Everett and Franklin. And the board also set a special meeting for the Ridgewood Water Treatment Plant and the Cedar Hill Avenue well field for Thursday, March 30th. So that's going to be taken care of at a special meeting on Thursday, March 30th. If anyone is watching and has interest in that, that is the time to be there. The Board of Health had a lengthy discussion on new procedures for grease trap inspections that the state has promulgated. And I spoke to Matt already. We're going to have to look at our ordinance and see if we're up to date with everything that we should be with that. We'll get to that. Dr. Steve Clark, the president of the Wyckoff Board of Health, reached out to Chief Murphy and Sergeant Ferreira from the police department after the train wreck in Ohio to inquire if we need to worry about the trains that traverse the Susquehanna Railroad through Wyckoff. And as far as they know, it's mostly freight and like debris, like I guess recyclables on those gondola cars. All chemicals, they told them, are supposed to be labeled properly on a tank car, but we're gonna. The police department said this is an area that we need to keep an eye on, especially in light of what happened in Ohio. The Zabriskie House, Joyce Santamaro, Trish Landell, and Jean Hildebrand are working on springtime tours for fourth graders in town. I attended an Eagle Scout Court of Honor on Saturday the 11th, which was good, at the library. Mark DeGennaro has been emailed the new elevations for the Terhune/Sycamac Avenue sewer project that is being completed or near completion of planning by the Barn organization to lower the grade of the sewer pipe on Sycamac Ave, so the new group home to the left of the barn being proposed by Eastern Christian Children's Retreat / Hope Christian Services can hook into the sewer, which is a good thing for them and for us and for the barn who is quarterbacking this project. So Mark has that, and he now has to apply for an amended TWA permit, and hopefully that'll go through and be part of the project when we get going this spring. Design Review did not have a meeting, and Historic Preservation did not have a meeting. That's all I have to report. Flow Follies is March 3rd, 4th, and 5th. The next rehearsal is this Thursday. I'm planning to be part of Flow Follies. I think the mayor is as well. If anyone would like to join us, it's a lot of fun. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Scott Fisher?
Thank you, sir. I was unable to attend the K-8 meeting this month due to the fact that I was in a very long, lengthy meeting on planning with our board attorney and Mr. Boonstra. Thanks to Rob for all his hard work on moving some of these items along. I know they've been on our table for a while, and I look forward to completing a bunch of them soon. I would like to just bring up an oddball thing, maybe. Maybe Matt, you can help us. Find out who's doing or who's in charge of the construction work on the drainage line underneath Route 208, James Way at Eisenhower. They completed the head wall a couple weeks ago at least, and there's a sizable amount of debris that's been left behind. The weather's been nice. There's no reason for them not to have that site cleaned up to the best of their ability until they come back for whatever round 2 is going to be, where I believe they'll be actually crossing the highway. So if you can have somebody look into that and get that site cleaned up,
If I saw the equipment there, I think it was Mazzano Construction Company, the same outfit that did the paving on Mountain Ave.
But it's also, I think, being
state.
supervised by the
It's the
state of
state, yeah.
Jersey, so maybe
Yeah.
we can have somebody
Yeah.
contact and just have them clean up the site. It looks kind of shabby for the neighborhood, especially because they've been gone now for 3 weeks. Pretty much no sight of them. I think Zabriskie House, we were quiet, Rudy, so we have nothing to report there.
Nothing there, no? Nope.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Just one thing, if I get out on the Scott, I forgot to mention, Bridget was at that zoning, committee meeting, and there's enough things going on that we need to do, that I think that the best way to do it is with a reexamination of the master plan, so we're expecting to do that as well.
Yeah, our target, or our plan is to have it in front of the planning board at the April meeting, I believe. Yeah. It's too early to get it on March. The March planning board meeting is next week already, so there was no time to get it there.
Okay, thank you. Tim?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a report on the rec board met. They approved the lacrosse coaches and reported that the rec baseball and softball signups were finished and their numbers were very good for the spring. The zoning board met on the 16th, and the 3 applications that they had asked to come back with revised plans on Auburn, Voorhees, and East Terrace all came back with revised plans. The one on Auburn came back with a reduced mass and lowered the roof line, and it was approved. The one on Voorhees was revised plans as to height, and they changed the roof from a gable to a hip roof, and that was approved. And East Terrace revised plans as to reduced mass and its side yard setbacks, and that was approved. 2 matters were carried till March, and then there was one side setback variance on Lakeview Drive that was passed. So that was the zoning board. The fireworks committee met today. Pete and I met, and we've chose the only alternative date that could be feasible was the 23rd of September. And it is unfortunately the same day as Wyckoff Day and the Greek festival, but we had no other options but to choose the 23rd. We also went forward with a distribution, which we approved, of $30,000 that was raised, and thank you to all the residents and businesses that donated money for the first responders. So the $30,000 will be broken up. $15,000 is going to go to the volunteer fire department, $9,000 is going to go to the volunteer ambulance corps, and $6,000 is going to go to our police trust fund that our police chief Dave Murphy will be able to use for the benefit of the police officers. Also, we came up with it'll be an 8 o'clock start on the 23rd of September. Everything will open at 5, and Roger Schnorbush, who's head of the Wyckoff football boosters, has expressed interest in having the football boosters do the food at the fireworks. And benefits from the food will go to the Wyckoff football boosters. And I believe that's it. I was not able to attend the Ramapo Indian Hills board because the rec board met at the same time. So. And I have nothing further. Thanks.
Okay, after committee reports, we may or may not discuss fireworks, but Pete?
All right. Thank you, Mayor. As Matt mentioned, the DPW has been, with the mild winter, working on the shade tree list, also assisting PSE&G, who took down 5 or 6, I think, pretty big dead trees in town. They were able to take them down along with the assistance of the DPW, so it's a nice savings to Wyckoff. Potholes are continuing to be filled. We're lucky that it's been a mild winter, not as many potholes this year because there's not as many freezing and icing. However, the DPW was able to borrow 2 different types of asphalt hot boxes, and we are planning to acquire one of them. It really helps the DPW with the efficiency of filling potholes. For example, if they go to the asphalt yard, they get 4 yards of asphalt. By the time they bring it back to Wyckoff, fill potholes, they're only able to use half of it from the cooling of the asphalt, then they have to go back. So this will basically use everything down to just scraping it out, a shovel full. So they were very excited and they're looking forward to that, and it will help all the residents here in town fill in the potholes. We also work on the press box at Memorial Field. We'll be starting any day now. Plans were finalized, material is being ordered, along with some other site improvements around the snack stand at the field. Also planning on continuing the decorative light poles from the library down to the rec building along the street there. I think it's a little overdue, especially when there's leaves on the trees there. It gets a little dark under there, especially crossing back and forth. So it's a project that's also looking to be completed. Fire department, year to date, they've went on 95 fire calls, which is a lot of fire calls in a short period of time in this year. Environmental is meeting this coming Monday. Matt touched on the military tribute banners are now open for sale. I think this is our third year in the program. It's a lot of positive feedback for the residents, and anyone that's looking to purchase one or haven't, please do it as soon as possible, because there is a little bit of a cost savings as price has gone up. Matt also mentioned budget. We've been meeting on budget, finishing up, finalizing the budget. And then just lastly, we worked pretty diligently on the garbage contract, which we're going to pass tonight. And that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I have a few things, then we can have a quick discussion, maybe. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Matt Cavallo. He's going to be celebrating his first anniversary of baptism under fire next week. So,
Wow, that came fast.
Matt, that
Time
that
flies when
year
you're having
just
fun.
that year just flew by. But congratulations, Matt, and thanks for all your diligence and hard work. Second thing I want to mention, just thank you to Pete and Scott and Matt for digging in on our garbage and recycling contract. We know we had a lot of challenges this year, and we've been discussing it in budget as well, but just thanks everybody for pitching in and getting lemonade out of lemons, but good job, we appreciate it. I'm excited about the swearing in of 2 new police officers tonight. We'll do that at the 8 o'clock meeting. It's going to be a nice occasion. We're glad to welcome the 2 officers. There'll be more about it at the 8 o'clock meeting, but it's always a nice time to welcome new people to the township, new officers, and you'll hear about how highly qualified, how fortunate we are with these 2 new officers. Pete mentioned the budget committee that I'm part of. We've been working really hard. Just want to again thank Diana, Matt, and in particular all of the department heads, because we know it's a tough challenge this year, and we're getting through it. We'll probably have another meeting, but we're getting through it, and I think we're gonna put together something that not only responsible from the governing body standpoint, but very responsible and to our residents. And the last thing, I want to shout out. I don't get to do this too often, but I'll do it. I have a shout out to my granddaughter Daniela, whose 17th birthday's tomorrow. I want to wish her luck on her driving test tomorrow, because she's going for her license. And I know she'll do a great job. I told her to get her ashes in the morning, kind of set it up, the mood, but I wish her a lot of luck. So that's all I have to say. Just to go back, I don't know if we want to discuss it or we want to have a future discussion. I know you had a fireworks meeting this morning.
Honestly, there's really little discussion. I think every year we build on the success of the fireworks here in town, one of our bigger community events, but unfortunately this year, really, for all the powers to be, only one date worked out this year. So,
I had a crazy idea if anybody wants to hear it,
Okay.
just to throw it out there. Or we can talk later.
No, I would talk now. Let's
you could talk.
talk about,
We always had it on Labor Day weekend. If I'm not mistaken, the primary reason we moved it away from Labor Day weekend is that no one's around, and ticket sales and the gate sale fell off to the point where no one was making money on it, and the price of the fireworks went up. So we moved it to a weekend whenever more people would be around, and it might help the gate, and help ticket sales. Well, we've moved away from that now to where the town basically funds it. So the financial incentive for taking it away from Labor Day weekend is no longer there. So is it worth looking at moving it back to Labor Day weekend?
I don't believe so, because I think Labor Day weekend, you have a really good majority of this town that's not here that would really enjoy to see the fireworks, and everyone's back in town after Labor Day.
Yeah, I think we moved it because of the people more than the money. Right.
Well, the money was part of it too.
Well, you gotta pay the bills.
Correct,
And at that
yeah.
point, the town had no desire to help
Correct.
fund it.
But that's changed now.
So the fire
That's-
department had to do a lot of work
I know that.
and a lot of time that goes into that process.
And not make anything.
And not make any money.
Got it.
It wasn't a fundraiser for the firemen, and I'm speaking as a volunteer fireman.
Right, and initially,
So that was our push to get it moved. Our push was to get it to where if we were gonna try to use it as a fundraiser,
Right,
do it when there's gonna be everybody home.
Right.
On a Saturday night, kids are back to school, hey,
And
it's a
that's-
nice Saturday night, let's go watch some fireworks.
right. And that was my point, that,
But to put it back to
the
Labor Day,
financial-
you still have the same issue.
well, then the only issue is, I say the only issue, I don't want to diminish the issue, is that less people are around. But the financial aspect of it kind of no longer applies, because the town funds it now.
Right.
Right,
And that's all I'm saying.
But
the
it's a
firemen,
community event.
and the firemen enjoying their
Correct.
vacation on Labor Day.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff leading up, I think.
I mean,
It was just an idea.
the only comment I would have is, I know we're squeezed on the dates. Personally, I'm concerned with the date potentially selected. I mean, last year, we had it was opposite the Greek Festival. They've been pretty good to the township. They requested we not have it the same time, and here it is, we're doing the same time. The second thing is, I'm concerned that we don't have a rain date because of where the Jewish holidays fall in. If it's the 23rd, I was hoping it would be maybe the 30th of September, which would also build in the rain dates. But I'm also intrigued by the Labor Day comment. And I understand that the dynamics has changed, things in the town have evolved, people aren't here on Labor Day weekend, but why can't it be Monday of Labor Day? So Labor Day night with a rain date of Tuesday. And I know I'm not trying to say you guys didn't do due diligence, but it's an interesting concept, and before we solidify it, maybe you think about some of these other things, that's all.
I think Monday of Labor Day, you have a lot of young children that come out to enjoy the fireworks, and I believe school starts up the Tuesday after Labor Day, so they won't be getting home till 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, probably a little past most people's bedtimes, so, it's not the most ideal situation, because there's a lot going on that day between Wyckoff Day and the Greek Festival, but last year we had fireworks on the Greek Festival, and we helped promote, go over to the Greek Festival, grab some food, grab something, and then come on over to the fireworks. So, yes, ideally, it would be better if we were able to have it on their own date, but unfortunately this year, how the schedule works, and fire company number 2 having their fundraiser on September 30th, that's the only date that works out. Also, when I went around to obviously one of the big successes for the fireworks is because of the fire department, and I went around to each company last Monday night with the chiefs, and we basically did a poll. What date do you prefer, the 23rd or the 30th, to be for the fireworks? Because one of the successes is because of them, and it was overwhelmingly that the fire department wanted September 23rd for the fireworks. So that was also one of
So
the
September 20,
considerations.
so the recommendation is September 23rd, no rain date. I just want to make sure.
Well, last year we had no rain day. We just
I
gotta
know.
cross
We-
our fingers and
and
hope
we- and we
for
rolled the dice.
some good weather. But yeah,
But,
there's
I mean, we have an opportunity to have a rain date. Now, maybe we don't have to worry about it. Maybe we have divine providence, but we'll be through it. I'm just, I'm also, because I heard the Greek people last year, I was respective of their input. Obviously, we gotta do what we gotta do. I've gone to Company Two's fundraiser. Okay, the last one I was at, there was 90 people there, not one fireman, but okay.
Well, that's not,
They were there.
I don't think that's necessarily fair to say, but
Well, I'm just telling you. But I'm just querying it. If that's the recommendation and the consensus of the governing body, is that's what you want to do it? Is that the consensus?
I'm
Yeah.
all right with the 23rd. I think it's a good day.
Okay,
It's gonna work.
next. Okay. We just
that's it.
discussed it.
We're
Okay.
done.
We have a motion to go into, executive session, Nancy?
Motion to adopt resolution 23-C3 and enter a closed session discussion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Boonstra?
Yes?
Mr. Fisher?
Yes?
Mr. Melchiong?
Yes.
Mr. Shanley?
Yes.
And Mayor Madigan.
Yes.
With an affirmative vote, the motion is approved.
Okay. It's gonna take 10 minutes. Yeah. We'll come back no later than 10 hours.